All right, everyone. Let's just take a moment and sink into the room. As always, if anyone has anything they'd like addressed or that they'd like to talk about, feel free to put it in the chat and we'll work it in. Otherwise, just let your attention expand to take in the entire room all at once, so that you can really show up for this moment. After a day of doing, let's just let it all come to a stop. If you can come to a stop, then what you really are can begin to shine through. If you can stop, you can come to know yourself. It's only once you reach that stopping place that the proper timing of things can flow through you. It means you have to get really comfortable with not filling every moment with something. Just let it hang open. too. What is that space? Why does it feel so different? When you really give into it, why does it feel more comfortable than anything else you give yourself to all day long? We've all been around the block. We know all the right words. We know all the right answers to questions like that. We've read too many books. But I mean at a deep, visceral level. What is the fundamental difference? Why does this feel like truth? And everything else feels like something you're getting through on the way to somewhere. And where are you in this experience? Your sense of self. being that's having the experience. When you let go of the pushing and the pulling, thinking there's something you have to attain or achieve, when you enter that space of dynamic stillness, you're just one thin hair away from understanding what you are. What are you? Nothing to cling to, nothing to nail down. You don't even really have to search for it because it's so self-existent and obvious. And so stable. Who are you? Who is experiencing the body? Who is witnessing the arising of thought? Reach into that question. If you think you have an easy answer, you probably don't have it. Keep the lid off the jar and let it all breathe. slow way down. Who's witnessing the mind? What is the nature of that being that is witnessing the mind? You can feel everything grow comfortable and unfold and open up. But who's aware of that? What is the I that is aware of that unfolding? The answer to that question is the fundamental realization upon which meditation is built. you see the answer, it changes everything while changing nothing. At an internal level, the answer to that question removes your mistaken identification with the roles that you play in this world, with the stories of your life. This messy world in front of you and all your engagements within it just become like a show you're watching. Doesn't even mean you don't feel anything. You know, when you sit down to watch a show, it engages you even though you know that they're just fulfilling a role. That when the actors are done, they're going to go back to their life. It can impact you, it can set a vibe. But it's quite a different thing when you think it's happening to you for real. But who is this you that's living out that role? These aren't mental gymnastics. It's just a fundamental reflection that comes out of the stillness that you've all been cultivating. You come into this world as awareness, wide open, highly impressionable, but there's a play going on. And over a period of years, you enter the play. They hand you the script. They tell you the nature of all the characters and how to feel and respond to them. It begins as fun. Kids just play. They pretend. But it's so much denser than what you are that it traps your attention. You forget. everything is designed to make you forget. It would pretty much have to be. Because the truth is actually more apparent. The truth of what you are pops its head forward the second you stop manipulating your life into existence. You quiet the mind, and there it all is. It's not one of the characters in the play, though, so no one validates it for you. You just know that something feels right. So you show up. You come to classes like this, you sleep better. Because you touched something real. But at some point you have to commit yourself to what's real. You'll still be in the play, most likely. Because that's what everybody's doing around here. But it'll be different. Different because you know that it's not the ultimate truth of you. Different because you know that the play of life is short. And that when the curtain goes down, you just go back to what you actually are. But long before you can even put that into words, you can experience it. I'm pretty sure all of you have. One of the important distinctions one of the differences is whether you make that reality, that self-existent truth, the foreground of your life, such that everything else is just like a picture you're painting, or some transient work of art. Or if instead you take the whole story of life and build into it these little spiritual peaks as part of the story. That's what most people end up doing. And so they get to have the benefits of meditation. They get to have the benefits of moments where everything can just flow and rejuvenate their energy systems. There are roads through the story where you can even accumulate all sorts of abilities. Some of those things even get built into spiritual paths. But you can do all of that without ever really accepting what you are. Without ever really just coming up against that fundamental question of who is it that's having this experience? What am I? What is this sense of I? It's a question for the mind, but also a question for the body. You have to give all of yourself to it. The same way you see a flower reaching for the sun. Just give into its reach. In this moment, right now, I am looking through my eyes. I am perceiving. I know so much about what I'm perceiving and what I'm seeing. But what am I? Can you feel that probe? If you get too intense with it, you lose it. If you get too lax with it, you lose it. You have to find that spot where you can just stay open and look at it. While you're doing that, the meditative state happens naturally. What's special about this question puts you in the meditative state, takes you right out of the story while keeping you wide awake and engaged. It's not numbing. It's starkly awake. Just about anything you're experiencing, any suffering, if you instead ask yourself, who is suffering? What is this I that is experiencing suffering? Most of what's difficult about it will disappear, because what's difficult about it is the comparison of one moment to other moments. It's the story. Almost everything we suffer with, maybe everything, requires the story for its existence. It requires your misidentification with a role in a story. But when you even begin to remember who you are, or even just think to ask, this magical shift occurs. This is the road to what's real. No one can give it to you but you. No one can get in the way of it unless you let them. Nothing can take it from you. You're swimming in the answer, even when you can't put it into words. So let's sit in that place together for a while. Use this time to work that question into your nervous system. Right now. Who am I? Who's experiencing this? the being that is experiencing this right now? What is its nature? All doors open. Given to the question at hand. Renew your focus. You're still in class, you can't shut down. Take a breath and open back up. What is looking through your eyes? The deepening of this realization is the most important realization of your lifetime. If you know what you are, you know what you are not. If you know that you are not the role you're playing, then you can act however you need to act without slogging through all the negative feeling. You can let it all go, even while you participate meaningfully. which means you touch the scene with the power of balance. Something no one else in the scene has. You won't be perfect. Least of all if you're always expanding. Because you're always trying to learn how to swim in a new current. But this is where you're always heading. If any of you find that this teaching makes you feel a little off or uncomfortable, just ask yourself who's perceiving the discomfort. Rather than map it to one of the many plays you're starring in. Do you see? If you mastered this one skill, it could take you the whole way. But we need to employ many roads. Are there any questions about any of this? It's not the first time we've talked about it, but it's been a while. It's a foundational piece of any legitimate spiritual track. It's the only piece that if it were completely missing, something would be pretty off. Because it's the entry into what you actually are. Whereas literally everything else is the manipulation or perfection of what you are not. All the dogmas, It's all interacting with the world of what you are not. And there's beautiful experiences to be had with that. But what you are is the part that cannot be missed. So never lose sight of that. This week, I want you to set a bar for yourself of neutrality. And any time you start to get a negative feeling, go deeply in to the question, who is having this feeling? Who is perceiving depression? Who is perceiving anger? Who's perceiving back pain? Use it all as a springboard into self-awareness. Simple, no? All right, everybody. If there are no more questions, I'll let you get back to your night. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you in a week.
Thank you.
Thank you.